Hello and welcome to Football Daily, where today we're looking at 10 players and managers who destroyed their reputation in the game. 10. Cesc Fabregas. Starting off controversially, we have Cesc Fabregas. Acquired by Arsenal at the age of 16, Cesc was so talented that Arsene Wenger shipped club legend Patrick Vieira out to Juventus to make space for him in the team. Unfortunately, the Spaniard won only an FA Cup with the club, losing in the Champions League final and seeing the squad deteriorate as Arsenal struggled to pay for their new stadium. Gradually, anger grew among the Gunners' faithful as Cesc flirted more and more openly with Barcelona, and he eventually went on strike to force a move in 2011. Though Fabregas won the league and scored regularly with the Blaugrana, supporters expected more and even booed him during games. And after he finally left for Chelsea in 2014, Cesc admitted the Barca fans didn't like me anymore. 9. Roy Hodgson. Hardly a legend as a player, Hodgson nonetheless became a respected and experienced manager. He won 7 Swedish titles with Halmstad and Malmö, the Danish league with Copenhagen, and even took Fulham to the Europa League final in 2010. Fulham lost 2-1 to Atletico Madrid, and 6 years on, Atleti were in the Champions League final, while Fulham had tumbled down to the English second tier. Hodgson, meanwhile, pipped Harry Redknapp to the England job, his 4th national team, after Switzerland, the United Arab Emirates, and Finland. But despite a talented squad, Hodgson's reign ended in humiliation when England flamed out at Euro 2016, losing 2-1 in the second round to Iceland. Hodgson was savaged by the press and hated online. Just try searching Twitter for Roy Hodgson wanker. 8. Michael Owen. Owen was a true phenomenon when he broke into the Liverpool team at 17. Between the ages of 18 and 24, he scored 117 league goals in 7 seasons, winning the Ballon d'Or before departing for Real Madrid in 2004. A year later, he was back in England with Newcastle, but over the next 8 years he managed only 32 league goals, 4 a season. But it was after retirement that Owen truly started to piss people off, as he somehow got a job as a pundit on BT Sport. Owen subsequently overtook his old teammate Alan Shearer as the most boring commentator around, offering up such gems as "that would have been a goal if it had gone inside the post," and "if there's a bit of rain about, it makes the surface wet." Quality stuff. 7. Uli Hoeneß. Bayern Munich legend Uli Hoeneß spent almost his entire career with the Bavarians, scoring 115 times for the club in nearly 350 games. He won 3 league titles and 3 European Cups, as well as the World Cup and Euro 72 with the German national team. However, an injury in his 3rd European Cup final crippled Hoeneß's career, the German retiring at just 27 years old. He then worked for Bayern's commercial division, overseeing the side's growth into a global brand. But in 2013, it was revealed that Hoeneß was a serial tax dodger, and at trial he admitted to owing the government €28.5 million. He was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison and served 2 before being released in February 2016. He has since announced his intention to run for the Bayern Munich presidency. 6. Paolo Di Canio. Perhaps history's most likeable fascist, sorry Garibaldi, Paolo Di Canio came up at Lazio. After a mixed spell at Milan, where he won the league and narrowly missed out on the Champions League, he went to Britain, excelling at West Ham. Di Canio was so good that Alex Ferguson tried to sign him for United, but the Italian returned to his homeland, where his politics once again got him in trouble, as he performed a fascist salute in front of Lazio fans. Di Canio became a manager, and his appointment to the Sunderland job prompted the resignation of club vice-chairman David Miliband, and in 2016 he once again hit the headlines, this time for displaying a tattoo honouring Italian dictator Benito Mussolini. Sky Italia suspended him immediately. 5. David Moyes. Poor David Moyes. Perfectly at home at Everton, the Scot averaged 7th in the league over his 11 years with the Toffees, even finishing 4th in one glorious campaign in 2005. So Moyes seemed a solid choice to succeed Ferguson at Man United in 2013. But the job was simply too big. Ferguson had been untouchable at United, running the club on and off the pitch, but his fellow countrymen did not have the same clout. Fergie had held together a mediocre squad, but under Moyes it crumbled, finishing a lowly 7th, 2 places below Everton. Moyes was sacked and left for Spain, where a patchy period with Real Sociedad also came to an end after a year. Now back in the UK with relegation favourite Sunderland, Moyes must wish he'd never left Goodison. 4. Glenn Hoddle. A quality two-footed midfielder in his playing days, Glenn Hoddle became a manager after retirement, starting out at Swindon Town. He made the leap to Chelsea, where he spent 3 years, and despite a terrible 34% win rate with the Blues, he was offered the England job. England put in a decent showing at World Cup '98, exiting at the hands of a strong Argentina side in the knockout stages, but Hoddle came under fire for his religious beliefs and appointment of a faith healer to the England staff. He later claimed that disabled people were paying for their sins in previous lives, leading to his sacking as England boss. Now he works as a pundit, stating the obvious and making up new words such as fatigueness. 3. Ron Atkinson. Former manager Ron Atkinson preceded Alex Ferguson at Man United and also coached West Brom and Atletico Madrid in the course of a 43-year career in the game. Once loved and respected, Big Ron became a pundit, but in 10 seconds in 2004, he destroyed his reputation forever. After commentating on a Chelsea game, Atkinson thought the mic was off and called the great Marcel Desailly lazy and thick before using the N-word. Unsurprisingly, he was widely condemned and resigned from ITV and his job as a columnist with The Guardian. Some former players defended Atkinson, claiming that his behaviour behind the scenes was not that of a racist. But his media career came to an end and he has now spent more than a decade out of the public eye. 2. Franz Beckenbauer. Perhaps Germany's greatest player ever, Franz Beckenbauer won 5 Bundesliga titles and 3 European Cups, picking up the Ballon d'Or twice in his 14 years with Bayern Munich. Der Kaiser also became a world and European champion with Germany, ruling the global game from his sweeper post. But Beckenbauer has been pulled into FIFA's recent crackdown on corruption, with the German icon being probed for fraud and money laundering in his leading role to bring the World Cup to Germany in 2006. His house was raided and the investigation is still ongoing as of September 2016, as the German Football Federation published a report linking the famous captain to possibly the most hated man in football history, Sepp Blatter. 1. Michel Platini. The only other rival to Sepp Blatter for that title is Michel Platini. The Frenchman was one of the best players to ever grace the football pitch, but unfortunately he became one of the biggest bellends within the sport after retiring. Platini won the Ballon d'Or 3 years on the bounce from 83 to 85 whilst at Juventus, also winning a European Championship for his country during that time period. But all Platini is known for nowadays is his corruption in the sport alongside Blatter. The former UEFA president was banned from football for 8 years, and the ethics committee stated that Platini lacked respect for the laws and regulations of the organisation. Not content with corruption in FIFA, he was also involved in Greece's football scandal, as well as being named in the Panama Papers, the epitome of a great footballer who ruined his legacy.
So that was the top 10 players who ruined their legacy. Do you agree? Have you got any more? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed that video, guys, click here to continue. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.